Welcome. Today we explore the architecture of reason, specifically focusing on decoding Deleuze's concept of molecular abstraction and the genesis of the event. The classical tradition, from Leibniz to Schopenhauer, posits that everything has a reason, a ground for being, knowing, or acting. The Deleuzian shift, however, takes this further. It redefines sufficient reason, not just as a historical explanation, but as the absolute, deep source of genesis and cognition. We must distinguish between cause and sufficient reason. A cause describes the linear, superficial order of events, what happened before and after. Sufficient reason, conversely, moves deeper. It determines the very concept of a thing, incorporating the event as a fundamental predicate of its existence. For Deleuze, everything possesses a concept, but this is not a dictionary definition. While representational entities rely on static essence, Deleuze argues that a concept is actually an event, a dynamic, virtual multiplicity that resists being pinned down by simple language. To understand this, we look at the interaction of singularity and multiplicity. A singularity is a pure, unique event. When you combine that with a multiplicity, which is neither one nor many, but infinite variation, you arrive at the concept. It is an open, rhizomatic structure composed of continuous, inseparable variations. Revealing identity through the subject-predicate link allows us to see how a predicate functions as the source of genesis. Whether it is Descartes' cogito, where the act of doubting grounds existence, or the economic conjunction of labor and wealth that defines capitalism, the predicate provides the root of recognition. There are two distinct paths of abstraction here. The Molar path searches for transcendent ideals and clear-cut distinctions, while the molecular path seeks out virtual sources and the fluid nature of continuous variation. Molar abstraction relies on the four shackles of representation: identity in the concept, opposition in the predicate, analogy in judgment, and resemblance in perception. These act as the rigid, classical roots of reason, trapping thought within artificial categorizations. Molecular abstraction, however, expands the plane of immanence. It focuses on the virtual source of genesis, identifying abstract machines, productive desire, and the extraction of irreplaceable singularities rather than general laws. This brings us to the shift from causality to quasi-causality. Ordinary causality operates on the surface with active and passive roles. Quasi-causality operates entirely on a virtual dimension where those traditional temporal distinctions simply do not exist. This diagnostic matrix highlights the core tension. While the molar paradigm is arborescent, hierarchical, and rigid, the molecular paradigm is rhizomatic, fluid, and immanent, prioritizing difference in itself over static classification. This difference is mirrored in our definition of essence. Molar abstraction pursues a fixed essence, something quantitative and exact. Molecular abstraction pursues a fluid essence, which may be inaccurate by rigid standards, but is far more rigorous, material, and dynamic. Ultimately, molecular abstraction expands the horizons of thought. It moves us away from reductionist laws toward a philosophy built on infinite, continuous variation. It is an invitation to think through the event, rather than merely cataloging its results.